Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 4 of the Fenty Christmas holiday series that I'm doing here on my channel. Now I'm really sorry for what you're about to see because this is actually my second time filming this. And the reason why is because silly me kept banging on the table and disrupting the noise. So you're gonna see bits and pieces of me in different hair, makeup, attire, and you're probably going to know what's been filmed before and what's being filmed, well, now. So let's get to it.
So for part 4, we will be looking at this. This is the full snap set from the holidays collection. It includes one snap shadow eyeshadow palette and also a mini full frontal mascara. Now, from my understanding, this is actually a limited edition palette as well. You're not going to get it anymore after this. And it's exciting because I've realized also Fenty Beauty, ever since its existence, they always launch an eyeshadow palette during the holiday season for their limited edition collections. And I feel like the pandemic really hit hard on businesses and stuff like that, and people probably won't want to spend their money. So I think it's really smart of them for doing it in snap shadow because the past few years they've been doing it in they've been doing rather big palettes as well. I think it's smart, and I'm kind of excited to see a small palette this year. So let's get straight into numbers, okay? So this set retails in Malaysia for 130 ringgit. Now, the Snap Shadow is actually worth 122 ringgit. The mascara, the full frontal mascara full size is actually 12.5 milliliters. This is almost half. This is 6. So if we calculate it out, I believe the full size one is also 122 ringgit. Yes, yes. Yes, it goes for 122 ringgit. So based on my calculation, this is roughly about 58.56. So in total, based on that calculation, this set is actually worth 180 ringgit 56 cents. However, it is going for 130, which means you are actually saving about 50 ringgit 56 cents. Okay, now going straight into the product because I actually applied the product on my eyes before filming this review portion. So first of all, let's talk about the packaging. I love this packaging. So all I can say is I love it because it's the same size, it's the same weight, they're not skimming back. You get 6 shades as well, but look at this packaging. It's a beautiful, nice like pink, and this pink is like the same shade as their sticks, their match sticks. So it's the same shade, and then they have a Fenty holographic print on it, and you see all this. It actually matches the packaging. So I love the design of this. Now, going into the mini mascara, I don't really have much to say about the packaging because this is literally just a smaller version of the mascara. This, I have my full size one over here. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, this is so much bigger than a mini, even though that this is like almost half the product. So it makes me wonder how much is really in here. But yes, I kind of wish they made this in kind of the same packaging, like the same style, you know, at least with like the little Christmas design that they had. That would have been kind of cool, but it's all right. I'm down. Now, let's get into the shades.
So this is where the audio had a little bit of mishap, so hi, hello. Now they have 3 matte shades and 3 shimmer shades in this palette, and I will say I kind of have a lot of opinions on it. So first off, let's talk about the matte shades, all right? Here's where I have a little bit of the problem with the mattes. I don't even know where to start. Concrete Lavender is a really basic, it's like a slightly lilac undertoned beige color that you probably use to set your primer down. It basically gives you a really nice base. And so far using it, I actually kind of am okay with it. It's a bit too cool tone for my liking, but I think it works really well. My issue actually comes in with Honey Splash. It's this middle shade over here. There's just something about this shade that I feel is not very pigmented. Like I am sitting there with my blending brush, blending and blending and blending, and it's just a never-ending session of blending. So I'm not a fan of the shade Honey Splash. Now moving on to the next one, which is Brownie Babe. Now Brownie Babe is kind of okay. It's like a standard brown, but the thing is, I wouldn't give it like a huge thumbs up. I actually have it all over my crease now. You probably can't really see it, but for Brownie Babe, I don't know. I mean, to me, I just feel like there's a higher expectation when it comes to brown and neutral shades, and I'm okay with it, but I've used a lot of better browns, but it's definitely more of like a cool tone brown. It's okay, but it's not like the best. I'm not like wowed by it. I will say it's definitely the best matte out of the three. Now moving on to the shimmer shades in the palette, they have three over here. It is the purple, gold, and red. I will say though, compared to like other Fenty Snap Shadow palettes, the shimmers in this is actually astoundingly better than the usual line, which got me very surprised because I'm like, why is the shimmers in this so much better than the others? But. See, I knew this was too good to be true, okay? When you rub your finger in this, the texture is almost like an ink pad. It reminds me so much of a ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow. That's the texture you get. It is so creamy, it's almost wet, and it just feels really, really nice. Not only that, I really love the shade selections. Like this purple is all over my lid right now, and it is like, why I say it reminds me so much of a ColourPop Super Shock shadow is because the texture is exactly the same, and the way you apply it, I have the same issues. When you use a brush and you put it into a shimmer shade and you apply it to the lid, it doesn't really carry a lot of pigment. The wear is almost, I would say, almost somewhat worse than the regular snap shadow line. However, if you use your fingers with this, wow. You actually get really nice pigmentation and color payoff on your lids if you use your fingers with the shimmer shades. So I mean, I'm not a big fan of using my fingers because brushes aren't cheap and I got brushes for a reason. But I think if you are really interested in these particular colors, it would be pretty worth it, to be honest. So Violet Vibes is probably my favorite color in this whole palette. However, it's probably like my second best in this palette. I actually really like it. I wear it pretty often now. Like I think ever since I got this palette, I've worn it at least once or twice a week, which I think is saying something. Now moving on to the next shade is a beautiful gold called Royal Dazzle. Now this shade is probably like the most basic shade, and I say the most basic is because you could probably find something similar in every neutral palette. However, it is a stunning gold. It's literally like a pure gold shade, you know, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. Sounds like a perfect day. But I will say when it's worn on the lids, I love putting this in the inner corner and it just pops. I love this so much. It is my favorite only because it wears so beautifully throughout the day compared to the other 5 shades. Now last up, it is the red shade called Blood Moon. It is a really nice shimmery red. I think it's perfect for Christmas. I actually really like using the number 4 palette with this palette. I think it mixes up really well with all the shimmer shades. So whenever I need to ground colors together, because this is rather pink, I will say that I use this shade over here, Brownie Babe, to just ground everything together to get all the pinks and add some brown into it. And then what I'll do is I'll use one of the shimmer shades here because honestly, the red goes really well with the pinks. This is the purple with the pinks. The gold with the pinks looks really nice, and I think this would be like a really nice pairing. Now, if you ask me if this particular set is worth it, I'm kind of on the fence because I really love the shimmer shades, but will you actually pay the money for the sake of the shimmer shades? I think the full frontal mascara is okay, only because I have used better, and to come in a small tube, I mean, like I said, I'm okay with it. I don't really reach out for it a lot. However, I am kind of a fan of a few of the Snap Shadow palettes. I will say that sometimes there is a little bit of inconsistency now that I have used a few. But I think if you do have the number 4 palette, I think it's really nice to get this palette to pair it with. I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to your preference on whether, in particular, you need the 3 shimmer shades from this palette. Because, like I said, I don't really care much about the mattes because I think it could be better. However, the shimmer shades are really nice. And again, gentle reminder, personally, I think it's only if you don't mind using your fingers. So if you are in a rush, I feel like maybe this is something you don't really want to look into if you're always rushing to do your makeup, because I feel like you need some time to work with this. I think to me, if I wasn't sent this particular set and the fact that I have so many Snap Shadow palettes already, I would kind of not actually get it, because to me, just buying it for these 3 shades alone is just not enough. Also, because I have a lot of gold and shimmery reds already. So for me, it would kind of be buying this palette just for the sake of the purple. I love it, but is this set worth it? I think if you have the number 4 palette, this will go really well with it. But will I pay 130 ringgit for just one shade? No. Okay, guys, so that concludes our Fenty Christmas holiday series, because this is part 4 and there's only 4 parts and we're kind of done. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you do, make sure you give me a thumbs up because it kind of helps. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're always notified whenever I actually upload. Yes, I'm throwing shade at myself. I really do hope that you guys found this video and honestly this whole series helpful for you guys. If you haven't seen part 1, 2, and 3, it's already up on the channel, so just click on it, okay? I'll insert something on the screen. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.